we do to deserve this? Like, honestly, what the hell did we do as New York football fans to deserve these two teams who just decided, they just decided to swap performances? It's unbelievable between these 2 weeks that both of these teams would have one game where they're completely inept, can't do a damn thing right, get absolutely manhandled, beat up, stupid penalties. Well, I guess that happens in both scenarios. But, they decide one game they're going to be non-competitive and make you question whether or not the coach knows what he's doing, that they're actually an NFL football team, that you're not mired in the absolute just dregs of the NFL. And then, in the other game, they're going to throw it away. Games that absolutely they have won, they're going to throw it away. As the Jets did in week 1 against the Steelers and the Giants last night, yesterday, absolutely threw a game away. These teams are not good enough to throw wins away. These teams are going to have dead seasons by October 1st, let alone Halloween. But let's start with the Giants because that was some kind of special, kind of stupid. And what's frustrating about this game, and there's a million things. I could go on forever, baby. What's frustrating about this game, for me, they scored 37 points. They scored 37 points. I wasn't sure after last week they were going to score 37 points for the season. And they came out and overcame, and we'll get to it. And obviously, James Hudson lost his mind and had one of the worst, unbelievable, unfathomable opening drives where he's got two false starts. He's got, to me, the worst one is when you get the big play down to the 2-yard line. He gets the personal foul and wipes that play away, and they overcame. Listen to this. 2nd and 30. The New York Giants, Russell Wilson and this offense in the first drive of the game overcame 2nd and 30. I'm not sure we have seen that since Eli Manning was the quarterback. 2nd and 30, and they still get a big play down to the goal line, only to have it wiped away by a guy who's losing his mind, playing left tackle. James Hudson, they gave a 2-year contract to because they knew they need probably a left tackle while Andrew Thomas is out. He's fighting everybody on the sidelines. It's insane what happened to start that game. You get the penalty right on the kickoff, which wipes away, a 50-yard return. And then you get James Hudson losing his mind. And despite that, despite the terrible penalties, despite the fact there was a flag thrown on every play, this team, Russell Wilson, this coach, this offense absolutely took it to the Cowboys. They dominate the first quarter. I know they don't score a touchdown. They dominate the first half. And they're only up 13-10. But they dominated the football game in every way. And Russell Wilson looked terrific. We can put to bed whether or not Jackson Dart should start before we get to the rest of this game and how atrocious it is and how you can't imagine how they lost it. And Russell Wilson, all of the positives you want to take out of this. And I know I'm pathetic, and I know we're pathetic as Giant fans. I'm just, part of me, as frustrated as I am, as annoyed as I am, I can't get over the fact that, they look like a competent offense. More than competent. Deep shots down the field over and over again. Wan'Dale Robinson running up the seam. Now, I know Dallas had a terrible game, and he's wide open. And they lost their best defender and Bland, their best cornerback. I don't care. We have seen this Giant team over the last handful of years play the dregs of the NFL and be unable to do anything. Russell Wilson is attacking down the field over and over again. He still is throwing the most beautiful deep balls you've ever seen. He's dropping it right in the bucket. He's playing outrageously well. 37 points. They scored 37 points and only gave up 10 in the first half. How did they lose this football game? They didn't turn football over? How do they lose this football game? Until the end, obviously. How are they in overtime in a game that they only gave up 10 points in the first half, scored 37 and didn't turn the football over in regulation? How they lose that football game? To watch that offense operate was like, they made me feel. For the first time in years, they made me feel. I was numb at the end of the Washington game in week 1. And I had zero expectations of how this team was going to play this week against the Cowboys. On the road, zero expectations. And they came out there, and offensively, and even defensively in the first half, they came out and played a football game, and the offense had answers, and the offense overcame penalties, and the offense was throwing the ball down the field, and Neighbors is getting they finally get in the end zone. Neighbors makes a great catch. Russell Wilson put it right in the only place that only he could catch it. Then Wan'Dale Robinson breaking it down the field. You got Scatterboo running the ball hard. Like, they looked like a team that was ready to go to Dallas and take care of business. And to have it fall apart, and to have the defense play the way they did, a defense that they invested how much money in the offseason? In a defense that they draft Abdul Carter, 3rd overall, as we're expecting this elite pass rush. 2 sacks between them. Dak had to throw the ball how many times? And yet, it doesn't feel like that pass rush is elite at all. And I know we're going to all get on Bowen, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. As again, 10 points in the first half, they come out and immediately the Giants get a turnover. And that's kind of the turning point of the game. And we could start there for a second. We could talk about that for a second because I know a lot of people are on this. So it's 13-10. Cowboys come out of the half. Drew Phillips makes a great play on the turnover. They go down the field. And instead, and now look, Olsen, who's one of the better color men, it's for me, right now in the NFL. I think he does a tremendous job. It's a great broadcast. He's expecting to go for it on 4th down. Because you can't, and we could argue about it on whether or not to kick that field goal and go up 6. And in my mind, in the moment, I would have kicked the field goal. But let's be totally honest. It's easy to look back at it now and say, what are you doing? You kicked the 3 points. The game is different. You're upset. Look at those 3 points and what it meant right now. He didn't kick for the exact reason of what happened. The defense couldn't stop them the entire second half. The Cowboys did whatever they wanted to do the entire second half. They scored 27 points in the second half. And I know, and when you look at it with the new kickoff rules and where they're probably going to get the football, you take your chance and you pin them back deep even if you don't get it. I get it. I have a tough time blaming any part of the offense, even that situation. I would have kicked it, but I understand why he didn't, because the thought process is you can't keep the Cowboys down, and that thought process was 100% correct. 100% correct. That was the last time they stopped the Cowboys the entire rest of the game. That turnover was it. From that point on, the Cowboys did whatever they wanted to do. It took a 50-yard bomb with 25 seconds left to get back into the game or retake the lead. I understood exactly why he didn't kick it. Would I have? I would have. Do I think it changes the game? Maybe. Do I understand why he did it? Yeah. Am I going to quibble about that decision or anything offensively related when they scored 37 points? No, I'm not. I've kicked this offense. We've kicked this offense every which stinking way. I'm not getting on them at all, scoring 37 points in regulation. Sorry, I'm just not. I don't care what their decision-making was. I don't care. The offense was fine by me. As Russell Wilson played great, they were throwing the ball down the field. They scored 37 points. They had long touchdown passes to Wan'Dale Robinson. They have with 25 seconds left, they throw a touchdown, double coverage. He drops it right in the bucket. This Giants offense played excellent and well enough to win this football game. That's the bottom line. And Shane Bowen and this defense and this elite pass rush. And let's be fair, Dexter Lawrence, he's a great player. I know he was injured all of last year. He's getting into game shape. He's got a lot of things going on in his life. He just had his first child. He was not good in this game. Abdul Carter, Burns played fairly well. Thibodeau got home a couple times. But, you're supposed to be able to get home with these four. Now, I know at the end of the regulation, it's 14 seconds left. 14 seconds left. 2nd and 10. And you know you've got a kicker who can make 60-plus yards. You cannot play back like that. I get it. You can't. They were talking about it on the broadcast. It's obvious. It happens all the time to the Giants. Middle of the field tight end. I mean, that's what's killed them for a decade. Middle of the field tight end. It happens over and over and over again. And this defensive coordinator who was brought here because he could stop the run has not done that. And he played scared in that final drive. Scared. Scared to be aggressive, scared to come after him, scared someone gets behind him, scared he gives up the big play, and instead he played off the ball and gave up an easy pitch and catch down to the middle of the field and got beat on a 64-yard field goal. And he's allowed to miss it too. Man, my God, how many long field goals going back to their own kicker now, Graham Gano, beating him back in Carolina all those years ago. With Eli Coughlin and Odell Beckham Jr. I can't. How many big-time field goals have to beat this team? My goodness. I mean, it's just, and look, Dable deserves his share of blame as well. There's no doubt about it. The penalties are atrocious. And James Hudson, now, I wanted him removed immediately. They were moving the football. He didn't want to mess around. He took him out after before the second drive. Ultimately, I wanted him out immediately. I have no problem with letting him finish out the drive, I guess. I don't know. I would have taken him off the field immediately. I mean, it was just unbelievably bad. Now, to be fair to him, the one where he swings his arm, the dude falls just as he's doing it and slips, so it hits him in the helmet instead of on the shoulder pad, which is legal. That's kind of a bad break. The false starts aren't a bad break. And then roll it over, and I don't care what happens, you can't put your forearm into the back of someone's head and push it into the ground and wipe away a play down to the 5-yard line when you haven't scored a touchdown all year. The penalties are on the coach. The defensive coordinator in Bowen was terrible at the end of the game. They find ways to lose. Bottom line, this Giant team, this Jet team, Week 1 for the Jets, Week 2 for the Giants, they just swapped. Neither of these teams know how to win. Plain and simple. The Giants have no idea how to win. 25 seconds left. 14 seconds left. They don't know how to win. And this game was so frustrating because I was hyped, man. I was hyped. I've been talking about it all week. After that performance against Washington, I just needed to see some sort of offense. I just needed to see that this coach, this quarterback, everything they did in the offseason was somehow not just meaningless. And that they actually have a game plan and can execute it. And they did so and more. They played far better than I thought they would. And yeah, guys were running open. I'm not saying the Dallas Cowboys are a great defense, and I'm not saying next week they're going to do it against the Chiefs or if they'll ever do it again. I have no idea what this offense is. By no means am I making any declarations about how Russell Wilson's going to play the rest of the year or how this offense is going to play the rest of the year, but they played explosive, big play, down the field football. They played winning football, this offense. And I'm not even going to get on Russ. I know he throws the ball in overtime. He throws the ball backwards for a fumble, and then he throws one up in the air. I'm sorry. They're two hideous plays. Don't get me wrong. Hideous plays. And it's frustrating that he plays that way and then ends it like that. But I refuse. I can't. I've been screaming far too long, far too many years, screaming about this offense to have them put up 37 points in regulation, lose the football game, and blame them in any way, shape, or form. I won't do it. You can do it. You can call me up, 888-808-1019, and talk to me about how Russ made those two plays. Tell me about how he should have kicked the field goal. Tell me about They didn't run the football enough. In overtime, they should have tried to run the football more. Why are we throwing it all the time? You can give me anything you want. They scored 37 points. 37 points. Unbelievable. I don't know how you lose this football game. I don't know how you lose it. They're just not good enough to throw away games. And now you got the Chiefs coming in 0-2. I mean, you're staring at 0-3. It's almost impossible to avoid 0-3. And 0-3, the season's over. 0-3, the season's over, and we're going to see more than just weird packages from Jackson Dart. We're going to see Jackson Dart play. And I guess I'll get on that. It made sense, like, once you bring in Jackson Dart, surprise everybody with the read option, make them focus on the quarterback, assuming he's going to do something. You hand it off, you break a big play with Scatterboo, that's fine. The second and third time, I don't know why you're doing it. It's no longer, you're not taking anybody by surprise that the second and third time you do it. But, I mean, I cannot believe after that moment where I'm literally skipping through my house. Skipping. Believe it or not, I was skipping. Screaming, pumping. I could not believe they pulled off that play to Neighbors. I could not believe Russell Wilson accomplished that. I could not believe the Giants were about to beat the Cowboys. Dable was about to prove himself as an offensive coach. Kafka was about to prove himself as an offensive coach. Russell Wilson was about to shove it all in our faces at the idea that he's dead and buried. The Giants were about to get back into this season and have a life. 14 seconds. 2nd and 10. And they got afraid. Bowen's been a disaster. The defense was terrible in the second half. Bad penalties. Unable to stop anything they want to do. And then, quite honestly, this pass rush is supposed to be elite. I know it's week 2. I know Abdul Carter's a rookie. But this pass rush has got to get home. They got to get home. It's supposed to be an elite unit. It's got to be the driving force of the defense. And I understand they're giving too much space. I get it. How about you get in his face? This defense is supposed to be built now on getting home with 4. That's how they're going to be dominant. That you don't have to blitz, that you're getting home with 4. And that just didn't happen enough. And I'm annoyed at everybody, but to me, at least Dable gave me the offense. I know I have a low bar for this team. I have a low bar for the team. I got to be totally honest with you. And it's hard for me not to come away feeling somewhat what I expected Jet fans to come away with after week 1. It's a miserable, brutal, disgusting loss. I couldn't watch anything for, 20, 25 minutes. I had to just walk off. I think I walked outside for a while. It's a gut-wrenching punch right to the you-know-where. But the more and more I get away from it, they had a plan. They executed it. The offense looked good. Russell Wilson looked great. He put the ball right where he needed to every single time. He didn't miss a damn throw the entire game outside of the final drive in overtime. And they still lost. How does Russell Wilson, borderline Hall of Famer, guy who's supposed to be washed, have the best day of his career? They have 500 yards of offense. They're throwing the ball down the field with abandon. They score 37 points after giving up 10 in the first half. And they lose that football game. And they don't turn it over in and they won the turnover battle in regulation. How is that possible? They have no idea how to win. They are going to find ways to lose. It's cliched, but it's true. Bad teams find ways to lose. Giants found a way to lose. They went hunting for it with a flashlight. And they found it.